6 o'clock. Call this meeting to order for the Holiday Island City Advertising and Promotion Commission special meeting for November 25th, 2024 at 6 p.m. If we can, stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Let's move on to the attendance. Secretary, if you can take attendance.
Commissioner Brown? Here. Commissioner Elwood? Here. Chairman Holland?
Here.
Vice Chair Lawler? Absent. Secretary Treasurer Loderwikes? Present. Commissioner Plumley? Here. Commissioner Hall?
Here.
Mr. Chairman, they're on order.
All right.
Okay. Do I need to make, Elwood, I need to make a motion to approve the agenda?
We have a motion from Commissioner Elwood,
Second.
and we have a second from Commissioner Brown. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Moving on to reports. Financial Services. Secretary, if you will, give us an update on what's going on there.
Yes, we've requested our credit card for $5,000 as approved last meeting. We'll be getting it in about 2 weeks. We've also ordered checks and deposit slips. We didn't have those. So we're in good shape.
All right, very good. Moving on into the business, old business first. Approve accounting contract. Secretary, I'm going to let you give us an update on what's happened since the last meeting on the contract for financial services.
Okay, at the last meeting, we were given the opportunity to negotiate a contract with Tabitha Home, and she was actually willing to work for $25 an hour, and she will be following the contract that you all have there. Correspondence relating to advertising and promotional tax, tracking payments and reconciling accounts, collecting and posting liens as necessary, maintaining the QuickBooks, providing monthly financial reports and status to our commission, and digitizing documents by month. She is willing to start on November 25th. I'd recommend then that we approve her contract.
So we have a motion set from Commissioner Brown.
Elwood, could I have about 3 minutes to read it?
You can. And do we have any other questions from anybody while you're reading through that?
Elwood, again, I'll make a second. We approve the contract, assume filling in the blanks.
You would be filling in the blanks. So we have a first and a second. Secretary, if you would do a roll call vote since it is contract.
Commissioner Brown?
Here.
He said yes. Commissioner Elwood?
Yes.
He said yes. Chair Holland?
Yes.
Vice Chair Lawler's not here. Secretary Treasurer Loderwikes, yes. Plumley?
Yes.
Commissioner Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, all in favor?
We will get that contract signed and done, and we will get that going on. Moving on to approve advertising for Arkansas tourism. Secretary Treasurer, I'm going to let you take this one again because you have put this together. The agenda is for a single item, but we are covering the whole part to have the conversation about it, I guess is the correct part.
Okay. Basically, they're presenting two different options. Option one includes the fund guide, and as you can see, I divided up first half of the year and the second half of the year. The fund guide is $7,500 annual cost. It's a full color 9x12 full bleed, invoiced monthly, 8,000 copies, 10 times a year, distributed to also 13 tourist info centers. It's $750 each month, and it's a full color. The Arkansas Travel Guide in option one was $5,000 for a full page. Option two, I reduced it to 1/2 page for $3,999. That covers 5.3 million qualified visitors, 10.3 million page views, and it's also digital. The reason we're bringing it immediately now is the deadline's December 2nd for that one. And that would have to be paid in June. They've given us dating rather than having to be paid this year. We have two campground and marina billboards that we are in contract with, whose next payment is July of 2025. They're 150 each. Neither of these are the ones that we've talked about previously. These are in good shape that are on the highways. That would be 150, but not until after July. As you remembered, we were able to secure the billboard on Highway 23. The rent for $576 we paid. The wrap, we got extended dating till June, so that's $900. The NTA membership is actually billed to HIAPC this year, $2,500, but next year it actually goes to $5,000, but it's not due for 6 months, and that's because we are now an AMP. As a result, the North Arkansas Tourist Association increases the debt. So in option two, the first 6 months would be $8,649. The second 6 months, $950. Total of $17,699 if we chose option two, which is less than option one. We eliminated the Eureka Springs Visitors Guide. It was a lot of money, and we weren't able to document any kind of results for that one. So, this is what the Arkansas Tourist Guide that we're talking about, and the articles that have run before. Okay, and that's the full page. I'm recommending, due to our startup, that we only take a half a colored page. Any questions, suggestions?
Question on the NATA membership. Is it HIAPC pays half and we pay half?
What happens in the past was the city paid it 1 year and HIAPC paid it the other year.
Oh.
It's billed to HIAPC this year, and it's up to negotiation, I think, for the future. NATA, by the way, it gives us a tremendous amount of statistics and other suggestions, so it's well worth the membership, in my opinion.
But I guess further question is, so total is 5,000, but the city would pay half and HIAPC has been paying half.
We haven't negotiated for the future since the A&P. It's something we need to research.
But is HIAPC going to be involved at all, or just city and A&P, or?
As I said, we haven't spoken to HIAPC about this or the city at this point. Most of the amenities are HIAPC. We know that. We just don't know yet. That's something for discussion. I put it in the budget just so we saw what is important to promoting Holiday Island.
Well, I guess this is just in general, because we're working on HIAPC budget this morning at a meeting, but we didn't talk at all about advertising, and there was a limit previously from the 212 lawsuit, but I think as a member of that commission, I would like to, and Bryce is going to be a member shortly, I would like to see us continue to have some input and outlay rather toward advertising Holiday Island. But one of the reasons I think we formed the A&P Commission was to, and that vote was positive, in order to maybe lower the amount that either the city or the BOC, HIAPC, would have to pay. So it's sort of a balancing act of three different groups.
ISID's over here, A&P's here, and the city is over here. So I don't know if at some point in time that particular one would be
Yeah.
in thirds. Could divide it up
We-
1,333 or whatever.
We might consider breaking this up right now and just looking at the Arkansas Travel Guide, because that's due December 2nd. And that's the $3,999. I'm kind of partial to the Fun Guide personally, because I think a lot of businesses come in, and that's $750 a month for the next couple of months. And what we have done most recently was HIAPC paid 2/3 and we paid 1/3. Again, we have not talked about it with HIAPC yet.
So this is just a plan for the whole year of 2025, but the one that's deadline is the one you just mentioned.
Arkansas Travel Guide, yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, Mr. Chair, that's what you're looking for, is the one that's got a quick deadline on it?
That's correct. The Arkansas Travel Guide is the one that has a December 2nd deadline to it. That's the one that we're actually talking about and covering if we want to fulfill that for 2025, or we'll have to wait till 2026 before we make an appearance back in that.
And we have that much in the bank right now to pay it, write a check?
They have done delayed billing, so
Oh,
their
yeah.
billing would not come until June,
Oh, okay.
I believe. And so they have worked with us on our collection of the AMP tax
Okay.
to delay that billing until that time that we start receiving that part in.
Okay, I'm Member Brown. I would like to make a motion that we approve the participation in the Arkansas Travel Guide for a cost of $5,000 a year.
Let me stop you real quick on your motion. There's two, Secretary. The full page, I believe there was a price that came through that was different than 5,000 today. Is that correct?
$599 that came through today.
5,999. Well, that was made after this. The half page
Was
is 3,999.
now, and the newest one was 3,350. They keep changing it. I'm sorry. So it's 3,350. That was this one here. So
All right, let me reread this. The prices that we have right now, the full page would be 5,990. The half page would be 3,350. Those are the two options that were being looked at right now. So actually, both pages are off a little bit, but not much. And I guess the question here is, with this delayed billing, I'm kind of in the same boat.
the half page seems better for us this year. We can always go to the full page next year and when money comes in, and we see the results. Because I'd like to get a QR code on that page, so we can track.
Okay, so you're ready for a correction motion?
Yeah.
Correct.
All right. Mr. Brown will make a motion for the half-page ad in the Arkansas Travel Guide to be billed later, but at a cost of $3,350 for a half-page ad.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have a motion. Do we have any other conversation or a second on that?
I have a couple of questions.
Okay,
before I
let's
get-
go with question.
I thought we were looking at voting for the whole option 1 or option 2. Are we just taking it piece by piece?
The option 1 and 2, that's kind of the projected for 2025 that will come up. The fund guide comes later. The only one that has a deadline that we have to have a commitment to is the Arkansas Travel Guide. That deadline is December the 2nd, coming up next week.
And everything else would not be due until after June?
No, well, the fund guide, the $750 for January, we would have to vote on in January. But at least the 3,550 is due December 2nd. If, no, the decision is need to be due, and the artwork has to go to them, et cetera, because they put it in the guide comes out in March, but they put it into print by January.
But are we not looking at approving the whole option 2 or option 1 now? Or as opposed to just,
What do you think?
That's correct. We're not doing option 1 or 2. The actual only item on the agenda is the Arkansas Travel Guide. The rest of it was kind of a idea of what else was coming in place. So
it's not, okay.
Yeah.
I'll second it.
we have a first and a second.
I think I need to correct it. I think I
Go ahead.
said 3350, and did you say, Peggy, it's 3550?
Got it over there now.
It is correct. 3350.
Okay, that was my original. Okay, I'll stand at that.
No.
So we have a
They-
first and a second to approve the half page at $3,350 for the Arkansas Travel Guide with a delayed billing of June. That's correct.
And we brought those options to you all because we talked about last time regarding the billboard. What would we expect what kind of money we would expect to need for the year? Okay, roll call, right?
Yes, if you would do a roll call vote
Okay.
on.
Commissioner Brown? Aye. Commissioner Elwood? Aye. Chairman Holland?
Aye.
He said aye. Vice Chair Lawler's absent. Secretary Treasurer Lodewijs, aye. Commissioner Plummer? Commissioner Hall? Passes your.
Right. I know that part with the options were kind of confusing, but we're trying to lay out exactly what was going to be coming out so you can look at the future of 2025, because we're making commitments that are out into the next summer at this point. And this was kind of one of those that they gave us the option, just like we talked with the billboard. They gave us the option for delayed billing. It's the only reason we could consider it at this point. If they were going to stick with their billing being December, we weren't going to have that option this year.
For the meeting, they sent me the new numbers, so it must be at the end of the year sale.
Question, I didn't hear it. AR dot permits on the middle of the page. At campground on Marina, I guess I missed that, Brown.
Those are two billboards that HIAPC has continually to upgrade, and they're not like the ones we talked about, and they have a $150 permit to the highway department.
Where are they located?
I have the other information, but not with me right now.
We
But
won't
I
do
do
that.
have a copy of where they are.
We'll do that later.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on to the next part of business, along with the accounting contract came the decision on QuickBooks. I guess is what we need to talk about. Secretary, I guess I'll let you take this one again because this is in your category again.
Most all the AMPs are using QuickBooks. It's an online system, and Tabby, our accountant, certainly knows that one. She'd like us to purchase it. I think it's $600 the year, and the sooner we get it purchased and uploaded, the sooner she can start working on setting up the accounts and fitting it to the forms that we're going to be using.
All right. Anybody have any questions about QuickBooks being our system of accounting, or we have a motion, or they have some system that they use for their own IT stuff. I'm not positive on that one.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
All right, we have a motion to approve the QuickBooks for the accounting. Do we have a second? Commissioner Brown, seconded. Secretary, if you would do roll call on this one, since this is also going to be a contract for the time period.
Commissioner Brown?
Aye.
Said yes. Commissioner Elwood? Said yes. Chair Holland? Said yes. Vice Chair Lawler? Absent. Secretary Treasurer Lodewijks? Yes. Commissioner Plumley? And Commissioner Hall? Okay. It's unanimous.
We will put the QuickBooks in place with that and let accounting get to working on that deal. Moving on to discussion on tax form. Commissioner Plumley, this is your thing going on, and honestly, I didn't even get an update from you on if you had anything new, but I'll give you the floor and let us know if there's anything that's changed in it.
I went through and corrected all the grammatical errors that was there. Then I printed a instruction sheet on how to fill this out. I try to make it simple. I do know that I'm gonna have to add a line to it, because I personally actually has some properties that aren't in Holiday Island. So I have to add a line to it to put those properties in there. I'd have to add that line in there to put those properties in there. That way we can get my ET1s to match up. I'm sure there's others that are gonna be the same way.
Okay, and that's only because of the request of the ET1
Yep.
showing
Yep.
other
Like-
places other than just
Yeah, I can
Holiday
show
Island.
you all the numbers, but they're not gonna match up. But if I put that line in there, you can add the two together and come up with ET1 total.
And our new accounting person's looking forward to seeing these so she can work with you to understand the tracking that we need done.
That's right.
Thank you.
Any other questions on the tax form?
Now, on letter H, I didn't know exactly how to word that one on the instructions. Yeah, I'm always open for corrections.
Mike?
3C, the SID, or if YOU.
Yeah, I see it now.
Okay. Appreciate all your work on this.
Hey, we're down to one mistake. I was at 3 and 4.
And Commissioner Plumlee, what I would suggest is at some point, we'll get you with the accounting person over the next week or so to sit down and go over the form to see if there's anything else that's missed. How do they inject those numbers into the system? And then we review it again at the next regular meeting to approve the actual form so that we can release it on December 27th in that certified notice that goes out.
Yeah, I'll get them.
Any other questions about the tax form? Comments?
The last page, Mike, I don't know if it's necessary or not. It says make checks payable to Holiday Island Advertising and Promotion. Do we need the commission on it as well or not? Where the signature is above. Total
Probably.
tax due F plus G, F minus G plus H, and then do we have to call her to? We should. Just
I think we should add it.
commission there. Okay.
We should. And Secretary, will you double check with the banking next time to make sure that we did put in the commented out part of HIAPC in the banking part, and that way people are able to write checks to HIAPC and not the full name.
Right.
Mike says yes.
To do something on that, just have them send me an email and we'll get that changed. I think that's going to be in the filing for the, I can't think of the number right here off the top of my head, but there's a number that we file all the doing business as and everything else. All right, moving on to discussion of office space. There are no documents for this. We are trying to figure out exactly what to do. I did talk with the mayor. I guess that would be last week now. I keep up with my weeks at this point. On trying to figure out where we want to have space to take in the mailing, get all the documents put together, where we're going to scan them at. I guess there's a couple of issues that exist with letting a contract person work out of home or take the stuff home. We're talking about tax dollars moving places. And so I wish there was room in the city office, but that has not come to light yet. There are some spaces around. You may know more.
We've researched the tattoo parlors, 1,000 square feet for $850. If Yellow Frisbee chooses to relocate, that's 800 square feet for $750. The chamber has a space that they'd be willing to use. However, it's probably not good because I'm on the commission. And some other spaces the landlord said he could give us, but they're already connected to another commissioner, so that would not work either. We understand there may be some room in the building just behind Cornerstone but I haven't been able to reach that person yet. So,
That's fine. I think that gets to the issue that's here too is that there's some of these documents that not only are digitized, but are gonna have to go into the actual safe here at the city office. And so I guess we have to discuss of what we're going to do with it. I wish there was some option to have space in here close to the safe because we would be using it. It seems reasonable for that. I know that the city, and Pat, you'll be able to answer on this too. The city does lease the place next door for the sheriff's department.
there's an extra room over there, and I also talked to Holiday Island Tax, and she'd be willing, except she didn't want people coming in and out. And that's another problem, because once people might want to talk to the accounting person with questions. So she might have to have an office where people can come in and not be interfering with another business. And obviously the doors have to be locked because we've got very confidential information.
I guess, Pat, tell me if I'm wrong on this, but should we put in a request to the city council I'm trying to figure out how to do it. The conversation has not come very easy at this point.
Well, yeah, I think we need to put in a request to the city. I mean, we are a city committee to try to help us find a spot. And if there's room next door, I'm not sure what the,
And I guess the part with my room next door is if there were other parts. I know we have code enforcement, we have building inspector. Both of those, they're not normally a entity that uses a safe, I don't believe. But we are an entity that would use a safe in documents being.
well, I was thinking we actually, and maybe I'm wrong, I was thinking the city actually thought about putting code enforcement next door because they work hand in hand with the sheriff on some things, which would free one spot over here. Why don't we make a request for the city just to discuss it in their next meeting and see if they can come up with some suggestions?
Okay.
Because she doesn't need a whole, 800 square feet even, that, my God, that's half of a house.
All the leasing places, and then also like the chamber, the issue came up of while they have extra space and extra offices, the issue comes from you never want to open anything up that could have a conflict that's in place for it, of somebody being
Well,
there, or
but
somebody having access
I would
to it.
prefer, if it's possible, to have it here or there, even if we had to cut a door, a separate
Through
door
the-
to go
through
to
the
the
park.
sheriff's department, so they could still lock that one. But put it to the city and let's see what if anybody in the city
Okay.
can have suggestions, because I don't, the farther we get it from here, first of all, you're not gonna rent a place that's 150 square feet. Who's got a place that small? And I would think we could find a place, if not move the code enforcement next door with the sheriff, which makes perfect sense, and then free up some room here. But let's,
And this is also that part too, that the people that want to, we have to give them a place to go in person and pay the tax. And so this would be the place they go to. They would drop it off with Jill here at the
Yeah.
city office. They would take payment for it, just like they do for business license and everything else. And so it would make sense for it to be here instead of moving things all over the place. That would be that part. So
yeah, I agree. I make a request to city and see what they can discuss it.
Mr. Brown, do you know how often the deputies are there in a given 8-hour day, 10-hour day? I know they're not there all the time because they're out on the road, but is there any way of, I don't think they would be disturbed by a customer coming in to talk to Tabitha.
that part I don't know, but I know
don't
they're there
but
to
that's
write
a little-
reports and stuff.
I don't know if I like people going in and out of the sheriff's office when the sheriff's not there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've got a door on their office that locks up, I believe. Well,
I haven't been, to be honest with you, I haven't been over there.
I believe there's a door that locks their office up.
Okay, well, still, I think it's something the city can look at. It's,
So then, I guess the best way to do this is let's just do a motion for a request to the city council for office space inside of the city office and then we can send that to the council. The council can discuss the issue, at the next city.
I think that's,
meeting.
yeah, I think that's the way to do it.
Okay.
They commissioned us in the first place, they can.
Then I'll make the motion that we send that request. And,
Odowikes.
Lodewijks says second to that motion. All in favor? Aye. Against? The ayes have it. So we'll do that request and send it over to the city, and we'll let the city figure out what to do with it before we make any other
Right.
commitment to leasing a place. They are much bigger than what we need, so if we can come up with a deal there. That's all the business that we have. Moving on to commissioner comments. Anybody have a comment? We do have a new commissioner.
I'm happy to be here, so ready to get going, and, yeah, off to a fast start, it seems like. Deadline's approaching quick.
They definitely are.
Yeah.
Any other commissioner comments?
Yep. Ken Brown, Ben, we're glad to have you. You heard me say it, you've been really, very good about coming to meetings, city council, and this one. Several of the commissioners and city council members received today in the mail their exoneration, I guess you'd say, about some of those complaints, including myself. So I think that's good that we have new members coming on to volunteer with city government and BOC and so forth. And I was really happy to get that today in the mail. And I think there might there will be some vacancies. That we need good people to come and help carry out our business, keep this place afloat.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah. It's great.
All right. Any more commissioner comments? If not, moving on to public comments. I will say this is the first AMP meeting that we've had that we do not have a single public person sitting in the seat.
The public is here.
It is the first meeting that I can think of, even all the way back to the committee going into the commission, that we did not have a single person at it. And it's all right. Maybe they're all waiting to watch it later on. It is a holiday week, so.
Yeah, that's what it is.
There are no online public comments either at this time. And so, moving on to scheduling.
Oh, we've
At
already got
this point, we've already got
the third
December's regular meeting set in place. I don't think there's any other scheduling to do between now and then. It's holiday time. December the third.
6 o'clock. That's a Tuesday because Monday was the Holiday Island Hospitality Christmas party, open to the public.
So we don't have any scheduling to do. Moving on to announcements. Secretary, you're the only one that has it.
Announced that Holiday Island Rotary is having the New Year's Eve party at the ballroom on New Year's Eve. Doors open at 7:30, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. We have a 16-piece band playing like the Glenn Miller type music. We'll have setups and we'll have hors d'oeuvres. We'll be over at 10, so y'all can go to bed. And I happen to have tickets.
Very good.
Okay.
If there's not any other announcements,
I know, it's Holiday Island.
it is. Holiday Island ends at 10 o'clock. Only thing we have to do is adjourn. If anybody's
I'll
got a
make
motion.
a motion to adjourn.
We got a motion. A second?
Second that.
We have a second. All in favor? Aye. We are adjourned.